Hello everyone, this is me Professor Harshad. I welcome you all to the Kautilya IAS Academy, Pune. In this particular session, we are going to learn and understand very important components of written communication. I would say without which or without doing this session, you are not able to solve any given portions from compulsory English section, whether that is essay writing, whether that is pressay writing, or any sort of writing, not only in your, let's say, exam per se, when it's come to your real life uh, workplace, you won't be able to solve anything, write anything without this topic. So, what we are going to learn and understand today? Undoubtedly, we are going to learn and understand punctuation or punctuation marks. Roughly, we have around 14 minor. There are, when it's come to see, we have 14, 15 punctuation marks. As we know that there are, 6, 7 used so regularly and misused so often, right? Other than that, we have, let's say, like full stop, colon, semicolon, comma, that or exclamatory mark or question mark. We only know these 6, 7, but do you know that there are parentheses, curly bracket, dashes, in dash, m dash, right? Inverted commas, double inverted commas, right? So we are going to learn and understand all these things in our in these particular sessions. So moving ahead with the example and asking you the importance of punctuation marks in written English, I think this example will serve the best that why we are supposed to learn punctuation mark so meticulously and carefully. So let's try and understand the very example. Here you have an example, less comma eat grandma versus let's eat grandma, right? So very basic example, very simple example. In written communication, we often commit so many slip up, so many mistake and blunder, right? We often neglect these sort of punctuation marks, right? And these jumble and entirely create much confusion in confusion for second person and maybe a reader community, right? So we'll try and understand this. So if we think that at first place, we'll try and understand this statement without comma. You see, let's come to let's eat grandma without comma. This suggests that let's go and eat grandma. So now there is nothing to eat, but let's go and eat grandma. So can you understand the person's intent? The person's intent to eat grandma and not food as such, right? But if I put comma just before the grandma or granny or grandmother, then it say that let's go and have food along with the grandma, right? So this very statement or a minor usage of comma can make a huge difference. It, I would say, it reverses the entire structure. It reverses the entire meaning of the particular sentence, right? So having food with grandma and having grandma in food altogether different thing, right? So this basically clear, based on this example, this has pretty clear now the importance of punctuation mark. We'll understand this one with the help of one more example, like I love cooking, comma, my dogs and my family. So here are three entities. I love cooking, second is my dog, and third my family, right? Versus example, I love cooking my dogs and my family. So here the second sentence without comma, that it suggests and connotates that ये क्या बयां करता है कि मुझे डॉग्स को पकाना और मेरी फैमिली को पकाना बहुत अच्छा लगता है. मतलब आई लव कुकिंग माई डॉग्स एंड माई फैमिली. सो आई, when it's come to culinary art, the skill and the quality that you have to prepare various sort of dishes, है ना, स्वयंपाकाची कला असं म्हणूया, culinary art. So when it's come to like preparing a food, that person like to cook his dog and his family. अजब है ना ये? Yes. But whereas in this, with the help of comma, so I love cooking my dogs and my family. The person says like, I like cooking. Whereas I also like my dog, and moreover, I also like my family. So I like three things: cooking, my dogs, and my family, right? But if you omit that comma, then it suggests altogether different meaning. So with the help of comma, you can make and break the entire meaning of the statement. So I'm sure that this is very pretty clear now to understand the importance of punctuation mark. Moreover, let's try and understand these punctuation marks step by step. But we'll start with the usage of capital letter. Now, I often, I often people really miscalculate these things, right? So I often witness people literally use capital letter or a block letter so incorrectly in our day-to-day communication, right? That we have, not to mention of, let's say, an officer or a clerk from the college or being a student, we often commit so many mistakes when it's come to the usage of proper capitalizations or the capitalization, the first letter or I, or often the titles of maybe a novel or novel or a college name, right? But here we are going to learn how we are going to use capital letter in particular sentences. So we'll start with the capital letter beginning with this sentence. So when it's come to any sentence per se, you have to start that sentence with capital letter, whether that is prepositions, noun, pronoun, proper noun, or anything that, even if it is an article one, even if it is an article one. So you have to start any given sentence with a block letter, capital letter. Block letter का मतलब मैं बोलूंगा capital letter, right? Upper case का मतलब upper case, block letter and capital letter, all three are the same, right? Yeah. So मैं जो इसमें से कौन से भी टर्मिनोलॉजी यूज करूं, आपको इसका ध्यान रखना है. So the every single sentence starts with the block letter. That may be with the help of an article, with the help of a preposition, with the help of a pronoun, with the help of noun, with the help of proper noun, right? Let's try and understand. Here we start with an article, the. The bear in the zoo was a big one, and then the full stop, right? The bear in the zoo was a big one, right? So after that, if at all you want to start with anything after full stop, then again you'll have to start with capital letter. Let's say bear was extremely cruel. हालांकि ये ऐसा होना चाहिए, a bear and then here should be a the bear, right? But to make you understood, आपको समझाने के लिए मैंने यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं लिखा. मान लो ये bear से शुरू होता, so ये B capital होता है, right? Or to tell you in another way, okay, you can say like, you can say here, all the animal in the zoo are healthy. Animal in the zoo are healthy. So I starts the second sentence after full stop. So आपको अभी तक ध्यान में आया है कि आपको पहला सेंटेंस जो है हमेशा ब्लॉक लेटर से शुरू करना है. उसके बाद में जब फुल स्टॉप आता है, फुल स्टॉप के बाद में आने वाला जो सेंटेंस रहता है, उसका पहला लेटर हमेशा कैपिटल ही होना चाहिए. right? It should always be written in a block letter or in a capital letter, right? Let's say all the animals in the zoo are healthy. Okay. अभी मान लो पैराग्राफ शुरू ही है. So third sentence, यहाँ पे full stop दिया मैंने. After that, the very sentence, healthy animals result into proper growth. Proper growth, right? So healthy. So here I used the capital, T capital, second sentence A capital, even if it is like healthy, H capital, right? So here healthy, H capital. This is how you have to use capital letter after every single sentence or a full stop, right? Yes. I think this is clear. Next, capital letter is used with the pronoun, proper noun. So proper noun, you think of proper noun, right? When it's come to types of noun, right? Proper noun, collective noun, abstract noun, ये सारी चीजें आपको पता है. Proper noun is nothing but the name of person, place and a things. Name of person, place and thing. The same, I am Harshad. You are Yuvraj. She is Kalyani. She is Bhargavi. You are Dilip, right? So दिलीप, हर्षद, कल्याणी, भार्गवी, ये नेम क्या है? ये प्रॉपर नेम है. और प्रॉपर नेम जो है वो हमेशा उसका पहला लेटर कैपिटल लेटर में ही लिखना है. तो बहुत सारे लोग गलतियां करते हैं कि दे कैन नॉट इवन राइट देयर नेम इन अ प्रॉपर फॉर्मेट एंड अ प्रॉपर वे. They will write like, let's say I'll write Rahul, Rajiv, Gandhi, right? Rahul, Rajiv, Gandhi, this is basically a proper name. Even if I write, let's say like only name, say Narendra, right? Narendra. So I should write the very first word in block letter. Narendra, N capital. Here, Rahul, Rajiv, Gandhi. So either R, R, G, these three, these three alphabets are written in a block letter, right? So by the time you understood, when it's come to proper noun, we use first letter as a block letter. Like Virat Kohli. So V capital, K capital. Is an Indian cricketer. So Indian is basically a proper noun, India. As I said, like a name of person, place and things. India is a capital. Sorry, Mumbai, let's say. Mumbai is proper noun, a name of city. है ना? So Mumbai is a financial capital of India, right? Financial capital of India. So I started M capital. So proper name अगर है तो starts with proper proper name अगर है तो start with capital letter. Even that letter comes in the middle of the sentence. यहाँ पे देखो, that comes in the middle of sentence. Second example is very crucial, guys. Please pay attention. Like I is always to be written in capital letter. कहाँ पे भी लिखो, I अगर लिखना है, I अगर ये personal pronoun को अगर आपको लिखना है तो हमेशा कैपिटल लेटर में ही लिखना है. ये पहले हो जाए, even if it is comes in the middle of the sentence or at the end of the sentence. So wherever there is an I in the sentence, write that I in capital letter only, right? Now second, Paris. What's Paris? Is basically a capital of France, right? And where the Eiffel Tower is located, right? Here. So Paris, P capital. May is basically a name of month in a 12 calendar, in an English calendar. May. So I wrote here May, M capital, P, P capital. Paris और May क्या है? ये proper noun है. ये अगर पहले आते हैं, in the middle of the sentence आते हैं या फिर at the end of the sentence आते हैं, you have to write those words in capital letter. I think this is pretty clear. Moving ahead, capital letter has to be used with an adjectives if it is derived from a proper noun. Like say, if I say very simple example, Mumbai is proper noun, right? But if I wrote this word like Mumbaikar, right, that's become an adjective. Pune, proper noun, but Punekar, right? So these are basically an adjectival word. So here we have to use in this way, like Mughal era. Mughal. Mughal people, the people who, Mughal, the rule from 12th century till the 17th onset of British. Chinese restaurant is where China, a name of country, but Chinese restaurant, an adjective. So you'll have to write S capital. Dickinsonian character. Now, who is this man? Dickinson. Charles Dickinson was basically uh, a British novelist. Charles Dickinson. I want you to read his novel like David Copperfield, Tale of Two Cities. You might have heard about the Tale of Two Cities, David Copperfield. And before going into service, I want you to read his novel Hard Times. So Hard Times, David Copperfield, and Tale of Two Cities. Read his three novels. So he's basically Dickensian. Or let's say your favorite, Shakespeare, is basically a name of person, proper noun है. But if you can write here a Shakespearean drama, Shakespearean drama. So again you wrote these S in capital letter, right? So when it comes to adjective from the proper noun, guys, adjective from the proper noun like Dickens, Dickensian, Shakespeare, Shakespearean, Pune, Punekar, Mumbai, Mumbaikar, right? Yes. Fourth, the proper noun I is always written in capital letter. You understood? Like the I is always to be written in capital letter. Wherever it comes, like I am a teacher, I wrote, I played a volleyball yesterday, right? You, I'll give you an example, you and I were going to the market or going to the classes, right? So you and I, look at here, I wrote here in capitals. I कहाँ पे भी आ जाए सेंटेंस में, you have to write that in सिंगल आया, प्रॉपर प्रोनाउन की बात कर रहा हूँ, प्रॉपर प्रोनाउन की बात कर रहा हूँ. नहीं तो बोलेंगे सर आप यहाँ पे लेट्स से राइटिंग इन कैपिटल, कैपिटल वर्ड लिखा मैंने, तो यहाँ पे आई स्मॉल ही आएगा, राइट? इंडिविजुअल प्रॉपर प्रोनाउन की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. I am going to Bombay. I am teaching to you. I went to the market yesterday, right? Yeah, I was having a good time with my family, right? So ये जो I है proper वाला, इसको हमेशा कैपिटल ब्लॉक लेटर में लिखना है, कहीं पे भी आ जाए. लिख से My parents say I spent, right? My parents say I spent. I का कई मतलब आए तो. So with this I am sure that you understood. Then it should be in the title, first letter of each main word is in capitalized. If it is a title of the newspaper, title of the novel, title of poem, title of maybe a bank, title of commission, you have to start those with a capital letter. Let's say the very first example, UPSC. This is to be written UPSC. So the title of these commission, the each single letter are to be written in union, like public service commission, right? So every single letter P, S, C, every single letter of the title should be written in capital letter. But there is a catch, I'll tell you. क्या है उसमें catch मैं बोलता हूँ आपको. यहाँ पे तो डायरेक्टली था, right? Look at here. You have something to understand. An Era of Darkness. It's a novel by शशि थरूर. ये शशि थरूर ने लिखी हुई नॉवल है, ठीक है? ये टाइटल है नॉवल का. So an era of darkness. So you will find that every single word is written in block letter. But एक वर्ड जो है जो मैंने नहीं लिखा है वो है ऑफ इसमें, बराबर है? ऑफ नहीं है. So when my dear, here you have to understand articles and prepositions ठीक है, आर्टिकल कौन कौन से है फिर, ए एंड दी, राइट। प्रेपोजिशन कितने हैं, देर आर अराउंड क्वार्टर टू 200, लाइक ऑन, एट, इन, ऑफ, फॉर, सिंस, अक्रॉस, ओवर, अपॉन, बिलो, सो मेनी, राइट। सो ये क्या है, ये प्रेपोजिशन। अगर आर्टिकल्स एंड प्रेपोजिशंस अगर सेंटेंस के बीच में आते हैं, what I say, if these articles and preposition come between the sentence, they are not to be capitalized, उनको कैपिटलाइज नहीं करना है आपको। जैसे हमने यहां पे नहीं किया, देखो ये किया क्या, नहीं, यहां पे भी नहीं किया हमने, राइट। लेट्स से द एग्जांपल, द रोड नॉट टेकन। अब इसका हर एक शब्द जो है वो कैपिटलाइज है। द क्यों किया हमने, टी क्यों किया, बिकॉज इट कम्स एट द बिगिनिंग ऑफ द सेंटेंस। बिगिनिंग में अगर प्रेपोजिशन भी है, बिगिनिंग में अगर आर्टिकल भी है, तो उसको कैपिटलाइज करना है। पर यही आर्टिकल और प्रेपोजिशन बीच में आते हैं सेंटेंस के, तो उनको कैपिटलाइज नहीं करना है, राइट। सो द रोड नॉट टेकन, यहां पे भी हमने हर एक का कैपिटलाइज किया है। बट हियर अ टेल ऑफ टू सिटीज, राइट, और अ मेयर ऑफ कैस्टब्रिज, राइट। ये एक थॉमस हार्डी की नॉवल है। द वेस्टलैंड पोइम का नाम है, द वेस्टलैंड, ये टी.एस. इलियट की पोइम है। तो स्टार्ट विद द वेस्टलैंड, बट इफ इट इज कम्स इन बिटवीन, यू डू नॉट राइट देम इन कैपिटल। आर्टिकल्स और प्रेपोजिशन सिर्फ ये दोनों ही पहले अगर आते हैं शुरू में तो ही यूज करना है, बट इफ इट इज कम्स इन द मिडल ऑफ द सेंटेंस, डू नॉट कैपिटलाइज देम। या आई थिंक pretty clear. Preposition and article are to be used in small cases. Let's say example like a god of small thing, here of मैंने capitalize नहीं किया। the lord of the flies, ये of and ये the capitalize नहीं किया। of भी capitalize नहीं है, the भी capitalize नहीं है, but पहला the का जो ये t है, that is capitalized. Why? Because this statement starts with, when a statement start with, then you are supposed to write in a capital letter, otherwise no. So of the are small in letter, right? Of the are small in letter. Now you might have that absurd question, that is very I won't say absurd one, but what if you are like writing entire title in a block letter? You can, then that time you suppose not to think of a lower case and upper case. लोअर केस एंड अपर केस में सोचना ही नहीं है। मान लो एन एरा ऑफ डार्कनेस है, ये टाइटल आपको ब्लॉक लेटर में ही लिखना है, तो इसमें कोई दौराय नहीं है। एन एरा ऑफ, अब ये ऑफ भी जो है ना, ये भी कैपिटल में आएगा, ऑफ डार्कनेस, राइट, बिकॉज यू आर राइटिंग द एंटायर सेंटेंस इन ए ब्लॉक लेटर, तो उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है, राइट। I think this is clear. Now, let's moving on to the important point, that is period or full stop, right? Or dot, that we say in America, this dot suggests not full stop. Full stop are to be used at the end of the सेंटेंस। फुल स्टॉप और पीरियड में क्या है, थोड़ा सा डिस्टिंक्शन करके लेते हैं, थोड़े टेक्निकल में। फुल स्टॉप कैन बी यूज एट द एंड ऑफ द सेंटेंस, सेंटेंस के आखिर में जो लिखा जाता है वो फुल स्टॉप है। बट पीरियड जो है वो सेंटेंस के बीच में भी हो जाता है। कोई अगर मान लो कोई एक्रोनिम है, उसके बाद में भी आता है, किसी का कट शॉर्टन फॉर्म है, उसके बाद में आता है, और एट द एंड में भी आ सकता है, राइट। दिस इज वेयर वी आर कॉलिंग इट पीरियड, right? Yes. So periods are basically a punctuation mark that indicate a statement that is finished, right? Any statement given that is finished. Let's say I am going to Paris. ये हो गया खत्म सेंटेंस। So at the end of it, here is a full stop, right? Here is a full stop. This is the catch, right? we'll understand different usage of it. Let's say abbreviation and an initials. We use full stop for abbreviation, like the cut or the shorter form of something, and the initial maybe a name of person and a people. Let's say I am Harshad Adole, so I like H W Adole, right? Let's say second Rahul Raju Gandhi, right? So this way you use abbreviations and before the name of initials, right? Abbreviation. Now there is a catch when it's come to like abbreviations. You use normally, but Britisher makes this distinction because of the Oxford University. वो क्या distinction है मैं बोलता हूँ. If it is like say spelling name doctor, ये है doctor, right? But here we write usually in this way, right? But Britisher का कहना ये है कि D first letter and the last letter of doctor are already present here, hence no need to put period. No need to put full stop. Whereas American prefer to use full stop even after doctor, but Britishers does not. However, we follow British English and hence we are supposed to write doctor in this way only, without full stop and a period. ये स्टाइल किनकी है? डॉक्टर के बाद डॉट लगाने की, ये अमेरिकन स्टाइल है. हालांकि दोनों गलत नहीं है, बट हम ब्रिटिशर्स को फॉलो करते हैं या फिर ब्रिटिश इंग्लिश फॉलो करते हैं, हेंस वी विल राइट डॉक्टर इन दिस वे, राइट? अदरवाइज वी डू यूज लेट्स से प्रोफेसर. हाउ डू वी राइट इट? प्रोफेसर ऐसे लिखते हैं, राइट? सो दिस इज truly uniform and common writing professor in British as well and in America as well. क्यों? क्योंकि प्रोफेसर का जो लास्ट वर्ड है वो तो आर है, यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? PROF सिर्फ. सो हेंस periods, hence full stop. Otherwise when it's come to the first letter and the last letter अगर exist करता है, ब्रिटिश इंग्लिश में कोई फुल स्टॉप नहीं है, बट अमेरिकन में लगाते हैं. वेयर अगर फर्स्ट लेटर एंड लास्ट लेटर अगर नहीं आता है, इन बिटवीन वर्ड्स इफ देर इज अ बिटवीन वर्ड, आई मीन इफ देर इज अ मिडल वर्ड, देन यू कैन से लाइक यस दिस इज प्रोफेसर. One more example to cite and to make it more clear. Let's say master, right? Master, we write it this way, master. But Britishers said like yum और r last का exist करता है, तो इसके बाद में देने की जरूरत नहीं है. So they do not add here. But American they do add mr plus dot, right? Yes. This is it. Now we have abbreviation like Mr., Mrs., doctor, literature, right? So on and so forth. Now there is one more way of writing it. I am not saying, but I want you to follow the writing style of either American or British one. Now many Britishers do not write BA in this way or MA in this way. They write this way, MA, BA, right? But American they do write BA ऐसे लिखते हैं, वो MA ऐसे लिखते हैं. They put periods or dots into in between the two letters. गलत दोनों भी नहीं है guys. You simply have to follow the style of writing. अगर अमेरिकन फॉलो कर रहे हैं तो अमेरिकन का ही लिखो, ब्रिटिशर फॉलो कर रहे हैं तो ब्रिटिश का लिखो. बॉटम लाइन इज वेरी सिंपल. If you want to follow Britishers, then you will have to have this word without period. Otherwise, start following American and write in a usual way. Fine? Yes. Now PhD. When it's come to PhD, there is a great variation in writing it. Nowadays people write PhD this way without dot. Earlier PhD used to be write this way, PhD. but now it's PhD. Both are possible. Don't worry. No, there is no much confusion. I want you to know the style of writing. That's it. Then there is a few uniform formula that how you are going to write it. You see, when it's come to the abbreviated month like Jan, December, Monday or Saturday, we do write like Saturday, or we like June. No, we like a September. We put full stop here, or October, OCT करके, right? So after this days and month you can put the full stop. बट मे के बाद में क्यों डालना है भाई? मे तो 3 ही अक्षर का है ना सिर्फ. आप बोलेंगे सर मे के बाद भी एम करके डाल दे. How are you going to do that? Language has that way very flexibility, but that does not mean that you start writing the way you want to. There should be a certain set of style that we say stylistic. वो थोड़ा बहुत स्टाइल होना जो बहुत जरूरी है और बहुत मैटर भी करता है, right? So do not write May in that way, but Saturday, Sunday, Monday, days can be written. Even month like September, October, November, January can be written. But May, June, July क्यों लिखना है? वो तो short में है ना. Why to write that? Then there is a one more saying is that one more example is there. Unit of measurement cannot be written like let's say centimeter ऐसे ही लिखते हैं. किलोमीटर ऐसे लिखते हैं. कभी देखा है कि हम ऐसे लिखते हैं? No. Right or wrong? Yes. Then, if there is an abbreviation of the entire name, then you can add. J.J.R. Tolkien was a philosopher and a politician from America. Tolkien, right? Then J.R.D. Tata. Have you seen about like J.R.D. Tata? है ना? So अगर इस स्टाइल से अगर इनिशियल्स है तो लिखो J.R.D. Tata. All right. Yes. Then do not use like here this sort of if it is so usual Latin abbreviations like for example then that is we use for example we do use this way then comma or that is we use this way then comma, right? So that is फॉर एग्जाम्पल ये शुरू से ऐसे ही लिखे जाते हैं. सो ध्यान में रखना दोनों साइड में फुल स्टॉप, दोनों साइड में पीरियड रहता है इनके और बाद में कॉमा आता है. फाइन, क्लियर. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू टेल यू सो मेनी थिंग्स एट अ टाइम. आई वॉन्ट यू टू नो द बेसिक्स एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्ट. ऐसे बहुत सारे बट फोकस शुड बी ऑन द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स. देन आई थिंक दिस इज फुल स्टॉप इज इनफ, right? So to recap the point, we put full stop after the end of the sentence first. Second, we do write before after the initials of name or abbreviations of month, but we do not use after unit of measurement like centimeter, kilometer. इनके बाद नहीं लिखते हैं, है ना? Fine. Exclamatory mark. So exclamatory marks are to be used something that you cheerfully explain, something that suggests strong feeling or a strong emotion, right? And especially interjection. Interjection क्या होता है? Interjection is like युप. आप टाइप करते हो ना व्हाट्सएप पे युप YOP, ये क्या है? ये इंटरजेक्शन है. ये फ्यू क्या है? फ्यू डन विद द वर्क, बोलेगा फ्यू डन विद द रिकॉर्डिंग. सो ये फ्यू क्या है? is just like interjection. So जितने सारे interjection है which suggest or which expresses strong emotions and strong reaction use interjection or exclamatory mark, right? Look at the example. How careless can you be? तुम इतना कैसे careless हो सकते हो, right? दूसरा, what an amazing life, man, right? What an amazing life! Exclamatory sentence and hence exclamatory. What an amazing life, man! Right? So we do have a certain way of saying things like, oh, it was quite boring day. how bore it is, right? So beautiful, be careful, right? This way we use, with the help of tone we can understand whether that is exclamation, question, sometime, right? So you have to know the fact when it's come to interjection, they say yup, phew, alas, bad, or boom. Yeah. So with the help of, you can use exclamatory marks. Apart from that, if there is a strong emotion and a feeling and an exclamatory sentence, use exclamatory marks, right? It's very simple. Look at here. Yeah. Wow, something that is euphoric in nature, आनंद देने वाला जो है उसको बोलते हैं wow. So after that, exclamatory marks. Oh, I'm so sorry, right? Then alas. Alas is basically used for sad things. Alas, my uh, my friend had just got you know yeah my got with an accident. Alas, my friend just got with an accident or met with an accident, right? So ये जो है, ये दुख भरी कहानियां, वो आप अलास के साथ करते, राइट? यस. इप्पी भी होता है, इप्पी, इप्पी, राइट? देन हिप हिप हुर्रे तो आपने देखा ही है. So these are basically an exclamatory mark with which you use yes, exclamatory sentence. Then exclamatory marks can be used in certain phrases like I love this movie. Exclamation, there is strong emotion such as that, yes, you are rude. Wow, we finally did it. Sometimes we say na wow in Marathi this way. Wow. So it's like that is oh, we did it finally. So it's basically a cheerful exclamation. Sometimes with the help of adjective that you will also express. Dangerous, mind your food, right? Careful, before crossing the river or before crossing the road, right? So with that you use, like when it's come to exclamation or exclamation, and that to be an imperative one, something that you have to command someone, like stop, you use exclamatory, stop. Then don't go there, or like don't go, or shut the window. ये क्या है? Command. So when it's come to the exclamatory or imperative sentence, shut the window, use exclamatory marks, right? Yes, I think you understood. Moving ahead. Yeah. Now when it's come to question mark, there is a big question marks when it's come to the question mark, right? Like question marks, there is a general rule, very upfront rule, saying that when you ask questions or want to ask something, put the question mark at the end of the sentence. But don't make that silly mistake. Even after putting a question mark, you put the full stop. Like if I use this example, where are you going? Right? Where are you going? People put question mark, but after the question mark, they also add this silly mistake here. They commit this silly mistake adding full stop. That is absolutely an incorrect way of writing it. So do not add any full stop after question mark, right? Yes. So it's very easy. When you ask questions, when you want to know something, when you inquire something, add question mark. Inquire, like you just want to know the timing of the bus. So you'll approach the inquiry counter and say, will you please tell me when do we have a bus? When do we have a next bus? It's very simple. It's basically an easiest way of putting question mark at the end of every single sentence, that is to know and identify the question itself, right? Yeah. Moving ahead, now we are going to learn about comma. At the very outset, I'd like to draw your attention towards this very important uh, sentence. Look at the sentence, like a man, comma, without her, again comma, man is nothing, right? There is slight change in second sentence with regards to comma. उसमें थोड़ा सा मैंने change कर दिया है. A woman without her man. Now here we have two commas, right? Without her, a woman, comma, without her, comma, man is nothing. So the first sentence suggests that without woman, there is no significance and the importance to the man, right? The first sentence suggests that without the existence of woman, there is no significance, there is no existence for man, right? But whereas the second sentence, there is a slight change in usage of comma, and you will find there is a complete reversal of meaning. How we are going to, let's try and understand. A woman without her man. Now I put the comma just before is के पहले मैंने comma कर दिया. So a woman without her man is nothing, and the second sentence suggests that a woman without the man is nothing, right? Whereas the first sentence suggests without woman there is no existence of man, whereas second sentence suggests without man there is no existence for woman, right? So the one single sentence or one single small comma can make such a huge difference in the entire meaning of the sentence. So now we are going to understand what are basically the usage of commas, right? So here I like to draw your attention towards the very first point, that it used to separate three and more element in the sentence. How? Let's try and understand. For example, the grocery list. Now I'll tell you the very example in colon. Colon में हम इसका कैसे इस्तेमाल करते हैं? So grocery list included apples, comma, bananas, comma, strawberries, comma, grapes and oranges. So here what we understood, that in order to separate the atoms in a given list, you use comma. Clear? Like say I bought pen, pencil, eraser, right? So etc. from the stationery shop. So you see here, pen, pencil and eraser, all these things have been separated from each other. Hence I used comma there in order to separate the things. In the end of this comma section, I have a bonus tip for you. Just stay tuned. Yes. Then after the very introductory words, let's say, in other words, the best way to find is, it basically an introductory verb, introductory phrase you can say, that you can separate the introductory phrase from the main clause. अब main clause क्या होता है? Main clause जो होता है उसमें अपना subject और अपना predicate, यानी कि अपना subject और predicate माने verb, अपना subject और अपना verb उसमें होता है, and that completes their own meaning on their own. जो खुद का meaning खुद बनाता है, that is what we can say, that is main clause. So जो dependent clause है, समझ पा रहे हो? जो dependent clause है, जो independent clause पे depend रहता है, right? और जो phrase है, जो independent clause पे depend है, उसके लिए उसको separate करने के लिए हम comma का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. Look at the word. In other word, comma, the best way to find is to get it done, right? Or you can say, here I say, in a way, comma. So here is a phrase, right? In a way, I am going to teach you the entire section of grammar. So hence, no need to worry about it. So I am going to teach you. So I put the comma here, right? So in order to separate the initial words, phrase or a dependent clause, phrase, words or a dependent clause, you can put comma before that. The third usage of it is like to create pauses so as to maintain a rhythm of the sentence and so as to clear the meaning of the sentence. Rhythm और मीनिंग को क्लियर करने के लिए आप कॉमास का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. रिदम और मीनिंग, जैसे हमने अ मैन विदाउट हर, सॉरी अ वुमन विदाउट हर मैन इज नथिंग, ये सेंटेंस पहले लिया है. लुक, लेट्स ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड. शी implied that, then comma, without any doubt he was going to be the suspect. So here we have two commas, right? Without doubt, like I can say, uh, you can meet if possible, just a moment, if possible tomorrow. Look at the statement. Here I said you can meet. I can say like simply tomorrow, right? But in order to, separate these phrase along with that to make the meaning clear, how that pauses in the sentence, I use if possible in the middle of the sentence. Look at it. You can meet tomorrow. ऐसे भी बोल सकता हूँ मैं, है ना? You can meet, comma, if possible tomorrow. Here you can, again I can say like I can without doubt, I can say I can without doubt. अब देखो without doubt के पहले मैंने कॉमा लिया है. I can without doubt, I can without doubt cite hundreds of examples, right, using commas. So in order to find that rhythm and in order to make the meaning more clear, you can use commas after phrases. Commas after phrases. जैसे यहाँ पे देखो, she implied that, ये main clause है. Without any doubt, ये phrase है, and then the main clause, right? So with this help, you can meet, then, sorry, if possible tomorrow. I think you understood. Yeah. Moving ahead, if there is an interchangeable adjective is very, very easy. Say like large, bulky, load down the street. Large and bulky is something that is huge in size, heavy in weight. That you can say when it's come to like I saw, interchangeable adjective है ना. I saw a gigantic, comma, colossal, comma, elephantine, comma, large, comma. I mean, you can use as many adjectives, similar adjectives are there, then you can put comma to separate those adjectives. Look at it like gigantic, colossal, elephantine. After every single adjective, I put comma there. Here, large and bulky is basically slightly changed. Large and bulky, right? Large can be an enormous size, large, right? Whereas bulky would be a heavy then, right? Yeah. So gigantic, colossal. Then the second example can be citing for you. She was looking pretty, not pretty and beautiful. अब देखो, इसको मैंने pretty, comma and beautiful ऐसे लिखा है, right? So if there is a similar sort of adjective, in order to separate that and connotate the, or like say lay much emphasis देने के लिए आप comma का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. Then to separate independent clauses that are joined by connectors. अब connector कौन कौन से है अपने पास जो हम independent clauses को join करने के लिए करते हैं? These are fanboys. Fanboys मतलब for, and, nor, but, or, a, so. So remember that this phrase fanboys. So fanboys, these are basically a coordinating conjunction. ये कौन से conjunction है? Coordinating conjunction. And coordinating conjunction conjoin two separate independent clauses. Clauses का मतलब sentence. Sentence का मतलब that completes their meaning on their own. ठीक है. So जो sentences अपना meaning खुद बनाते हैं और जो इन फैन बॉयज से जोड़े जाते, conjoin together, इन फैन बॉयज से जोड़े जाते हैं, उसके पहले हम पहले क्लॉज के पहले यानी कि बट अगर है तो बट के पहले हम कॉमा लगाते. Look at the statement. Look at the statement. She went away. Ate her heart never did. Right? She went away. ये एक इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज है, मतलब खुद का मीनिंग खुद तैयार करता है. इसमें सब्जेक्ट भी है और वर्ब भी है. सो शी वेंट अवे, बट उसके बाद में कॉमा पुट किया एंड देन इट्स एट हर हार्ट नेवर डीड. राइट? सो दिस यूजुअली हैपन इन आवर लाइफ, लाइक व्हेन वी पोल्स अपार्ट फ्रॉम ईच अदर, though we depart from each other, but our hearts, our reminiscences are still there. Fine, it is. But my point is of saying is, my boys, you have to keep in mind coordinating conjunction when two different independent clauses conjoined by fanboys, then you add comma before those coordinating conjunctions. All right, जैसे कि यहाँ पे किया है, she went away, comma, it. Okay. I can say that like second example, I went to bed early, comma, but my father oh, sorry. Yeah, but my father slept late in the night. Slept late in the night. So, like went to bed early, उसके बाद में कॉमा दिया, but my father slept late in the night, right? So, to understand these, I mean, these are very small technique that you can think of it here. Next, after dependent clauses that you use to start the sentence, as I said, like there are two types of sentences, right? First is basically dependent and second is independent. So dependent sentences are those sentences which are depend on the independent sentence in order to complete their meaning. अब वो क्या है देखते हैं. इसको सेपरेट करने के लिए हम आफ्टर थरो रिव्यू, okay, after thorough review what? There is no complete meaning. What happened after that? Okay, you carried out thorough review, but what happened after the reviewing the matter? उसके बाद क्या हुआ हमें पता नहीं है. बट दूसरा सेंटेंस अपना मीनिंग खुद तैयार करता है. शी पब्लिश द रिपोर्ट. व्हाट? ओके, what did she I mean she published the report. So what did she do? She published her report. That is very pretty clear. So this is independent clause. उसको बोलते हैं principal clause, उसको बोलते हैं main clause, right? So independent, principal, main clause, right? उसका एक ही मतलब है. So she published the report. ये हो गया आपका. But after thorough review, ये क्लियर नहीं करता है, अपने सेंटेंस को क्लियर नहीं करता है, राइट? एंड हेंस दिस इज टू बी written with the help of comma. Then look at here, is the comma after the thorough review. Okay, you can say like say before going to shopping, now this is independent clause, sorry, dependent clause. उसके बाद में comma. Before going to shopping, I have to ensure sufficient cash in my wallet. Sufficient cash in my wallet, right? So you can think like before going to the shopping, before going to shopping. So after that, what happened? क्या हुआ? Before going to shopping जाने से पहले क्या फिर? There is no clarity of the meaning. Hence, before going to shopping, I have to ensure sufficient amount of cash. So this is how you can solve with the help of dependent clauses to separate dependent clauses from independent clause, right? Then next, to separate the name of the city from the state. This is very clear. You see, I was born in San Diego. San Diego is basically a state in USA, comma California. So in order to separate the city name, I can say like I live in Old Sangvi. ठीक है? I live in Old Sangvi. Full stop. Comma. Then Pune. Then I can say again like Maharashtra. Right? Maharashtra. And उसके बाद में भी separate करना है. Then you can say like India. Right? So I live in Old Sangvi, comma Pune, comma Maharashtra, comma India. Right? उसके बाद में वो काफी hypothetical हो जाएगा फिर. Right? Yeah. So in order to separate it, like separate statement from question, as we know, like you put the comma and then if the sentence is positive, you give the negative question tag and the vice versa, right? So question tag में कैसा है? Do you have to go there, right? So if I say like, okay, are you coming with me? Yes or no? So with this sort of sentences, you put comma after that, right? Then the direct quotation. If there is a direct quotation, then you can put. This is usually used in writing per se, story writing. नॉवल वगैरह आपने पढ़ी है तो इस तरह से बट इस तरह से आपको इसका इस्तेमाल करना है. बट प्रायर टू दिस टू स्टेटमेंट आई वांट यू टू फोकस ऑन द प्रीवियस वन विच आर वेरी नेसेसरी. यस, राइट. नाउ to eliminate the confusion, this is going to be the last one. You see, a traveler who missed their connection were given meal vouchers. Now, I want you to understand this statement and interpret the message, right? Because let's eat grandma. ये देखा था हमने at the end of, और बोला था कि a woman without her man is nothing. So this sort of meaning you'll have to find out, and let's try and find out that. Then only I'll understand that you understood. Yes. Moving ahead. Now the colon. Yes. In English language, there is colon and semicolon. But in Marathi and English language, we have same sort of punctuation mark. And colon represent this way, right? But there is no punctuation marks in English language like this. Do not use this, or do not even try to put punctuation mark this way, or do not even use this punctuation mark. These all three types of punctuation marks are incorrect one. Hence, the correct way of writing colon is put two parallel dots. क्या दो parallel ऐसे dot देने हैं, गोली मारते हैं ना वैसे उस तरह से. Fine. So the very first usage of colon is to, right, to separate the title from the subtitle. To separate the title from the subtitle. For example, I can say the space race, the space race from Sputnik to SpaceX, right? So SpaceX is basically, space race is basically main title and subtitle is from Sputnik to SpaceX. Like let's say second can be उरुनुकू. ये बहुत अच्छी नॉवल है इसकी, आफ्रा बैन की. ये उरुनुकू एक मेन टाइटल है. उसको सब टाइटल क्या होगा कोलन देने के बाद? अ रॉयल स्लेव. क्या है? अ रॉयल स्लेव. यस. सो उरुनुकू कोलन रॉयल स्लेव. सो काइंड ऑफ सेइंग इज that you have to put colon after title, right? So title. Then second, to explain a subject. This is how you have to mix the batter for better result, right? So when you are going to say, let's say like first I am going to teach you grammar, colon. उसके बाद में then the list of pattern, punctuation marks, syntax, article, change the voice, direct, indirect, right? So in order to understand the subject in written English, you can say this is, you can interchange with the list of atom that you introduce, right? I am going to the market to get some grocery. ऐसा बोला आपको, वो आएगा सामने, don't worry. To describe the situation, there are colon can also be used for the definition, before definition. Say like, here is what x-axis means says. It suggests that, say like what Plato has says, right? So Plato, then semicolon, then his definition, or say Voltaire, then his definition. So if someone says something, maybe a definition, fact or figure, that you can put colon after that and write the definition in double inverted comma, or you can write in single inverted comma as well. So you have to ensure that you put colon after the name of that person. Yes. Moving ahead, you see, now here's the list of atom, like to create a list of atom. It's like, I'm going to get some grocery. So my sentence is, I'm going to get some grocery. So I end my sentence here, say grocery. So if I want to make the list of atom, then this is the colon, and then like say wheat, then Maggie, then flour, right? Yes, then ghee, right? Or edible oil. So with the help of colon, you can introduce the list. Say, I am going to visit, then colon, and then like Paris, Finland, Norway, Sweden, so to say. It's quite hypothetical. So point is कि आपको अगर लिस्ट को इंट्रोड्यूस करवाना है तो आप कोलन का इस्तेमाल करेंगे. Yes. Then if there is a religious text, now if it is an ayat or Bible or Gita, ये क्या है? Religious text है. So like we cite sometime a gatha written there in the say अध्याय बोलते हैं ना, अध्याय तीसरे अध्याय में चौथे चरण. So ऐसे बोलेंगे. हिम्स अगर है तो बाइबल का, तो ऐसे लिखेंगे 4.5. और अगर मान लो कि आयात है कुरान का, तो फिर 4.6 ऐसे लिखेंगे. सो विद दैट यू कैन यूज colon as well. Moreover, you can use separate hours, minute and second. So to separate hours, minute, like say quarter to 10 मतलब 10:15 बजे, quarter to 2 2:15 बजे, 2:30 मतलब 2:30 बजे. सो इसके लिए भी आप कोलन का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. नाउ if there is like salutation nowadays, even earlier, let's say when it's come to like dear John, we do not use colon per se, but we use comma, right? So you can omit out these things then. Yes, ये जरूरत नहीं है. So उसके बाद में salutation, respected sir, respected ma'am, dear John, right? इसके बाद में आपको comma देना है. Then the final of it, like to express the mathematical ratio. To express the mathematical ratio, you use colon. Let's say like 1:3, 4:5, 10:20. अगर ये कैलकुलेशन अगर है तो आप कोलन का इस्तेमाल कर सकते. क्लियर? नेक्स्ट. नाउ यू सी, you use semicolon. You use semicolon to conjoin two independent clauses. दो independent clause मतलब दो main clause, दो main clause मतलब दो principal clause. तीनों का मतलब एक ही है. So जो अपना मतलब खुद तैयार करता है उसको बोलेंगे independent clause. तो दो independent clause को join करने के लिए, तो वैसे तो हम coordinating conjunction, fan boys, but और it's so ये लगाते हैं, बट उसके अलावा भी आप उसको कंजॉइन ज्वाइन करने के लिए सेमीकोलन का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. सेमीकोलन इज नथिंग बट बेसिकली, दिस इज बेसिकली अ साइन ऑफ सेमीकोलन, राइट? यस. सो लुक एट द एग्जांपल. द डॉक्टर सॉ द पेशेंट इमीडिएटली, आफ्टर दैट देयर इज अ सेमीकोलन, एंड द स्लाइटेस्ट डिले वुड हैव बीन फेटल. ओके, So for example, I am going to teach you grammar, semicolon. It's your duty to pay attention, right? Or it's your duty to stay focused meticulously, right? To stay focused meticulously. So जब दो इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉजेस हैं तो उसको ज्वाइन करने के लिए आप सेमीकोलन का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. दूसरा यूसेज इसका ऐसा है कि जब एक क्लॉज में, एक सेंटेंस में ज्यादा कॉमास हो जाते हैं और वो एक एक यूनिट से कॉमा बन जाते हैं, then in order to separate that unit you have to put the semicolon. For example, I have very beautiful example to cite. एक देखो यहाँ पे, I thank principal कॉमा, क्योंकि उसके बाद में अगर नाउन इंट्रोड्यूस करवाना है तो प्रिंसिपल कौन है? डॉक्टर भावे. उसके बाद में मैंने अगर यहाँ पे कॉमा दिया, वाइस प्रिंसिपल डॉक्टर भोईते, राइट, ऑन कोऑर्डिनेटर डॉक्टर साठे. सो हर एक के साथ में अगर मैंने कॉमा दिया तो लुक वेरी बिजार एंड कंफ्यूजिंग एज वेल, राइट. मतलब प्रिंसिपल कॉमा, डॉक्टर भावे कॉमा, वाइस प्रिंसिपल कॉमा, डॉक्टर भोईते कॉमा. So this would create much confusion in an expression. So in order to separate that unit, then you'll have to put semicolon. कैसे? देखो, प्रिंसिपल कौन है? डॉक्टर भावे है, राइट. सो प्रिंसिपल कॉमा डॉक्टर भावे, ये एक हो गया कंप्लीट यूनिट. तो इसके बाद में आपको सेमीकोलन का इस्तेमाल कर. अब देखो, सेमीकोलन हो गया, एक यूनिट खत्म हो गया. दूसरा यूनिट, वाइस प्रिंसिपल कॉमा डॉक्टर भोईते, ये दूसरा यूनिट खत्म हो गया. उसके बाद में कोलन, राइट, सॉरी, सेमीकोलन. So this is how you have to separate the unit from every single sentence if there is a repetition of commas. Commas का अगर repetition ज्यादा हो रहा है तो यूनिट के हिसाब से लो एंड यूनिट के हिसाब से उसको ये करो. दूसरा एक एग्जाम्पल, लिसन, आई एम गोइंग टू विजिट नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट. सो मैंने बोला है कि मेघालय, ओके. अब मेघालय बोला है तो मेघालय के बाद में दो सिटी के नाम है ए एंड बी. अब इसके बाद में मैंने अगर यहाँ पे कॉमा दिया तो वुड बी लुक वेरी बिजार. दूसरा है असम, ओके. इफ आई से लाइक आई एम गोइंग टू विजिट नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट, फर्स्ट मेघालय, ए एंड बी सिटी, राइट, कॉमा असम, देन सी एंड डी सिटी. सो ये थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग लगता है. सो मेघालय के जो ए एंड बी सिटी है ना, मेघालय के जो ए एंड सी बी सिटी है, ये तो एक यूनिट हो गया ना. तो उसके बाद में ए एंड बी सिटी के बाद में असम के पहले आप सेमीकोलन का इस्तेमाल करो. अब सेमीकोलन का इस्तेमाल करो. दैट विल क्लियर आवर मैसेज प्रीटी क्लियर, राइट. मूविंग अहेड, यस. नाउ quotation mark. Now quotation marks are to be used in single inverted comma or sometime in a double inverted comma as well. So when something is being introduced, maybe a well-known quotation, a quotation of philosopher, scientist, then you can use that in a inverted commas. Now there is much debate when to use single inverted and double inverted comma. I have a trick to tell you, don't worry. Yeah. So when it's come to quote may be from any science like liberties is the paramount importance, और liberty is vital for life, said by Rousseau. So Rousseau ने ये बोला है तो उसको double inverted commas में लो, right? Yes. Now when it's come to title, say the temporary matter is the first short story in the Interpreters of Maldives. ये Interpreters of Maldives ये बहुत अच्छी एक collection of short stories है. Then titles, माया अंजलि की पोएम है एंड स्टिल आई राइज, ये माया अंजलि की पोएम है. तो यहाँ पे ये जो टाइटल्स है इसको डबल इन्वर्टेड कॉमास में दिया है. तो टाइटल्स अगर है, फैक्ट अगर है, फिगर अगर है, डेफिनेशन अगर है, कोटेशन अगर है, तो उसके लिए आप डबल इन्वर्टेड का कॉमा का इस्तेमाल कर सकते. सो इट्स जस्ट लाइक फैक्ट, देन फिगर, देन कोटेशन, then definition, right, and then title, इसके लिए आप कोटेशन का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं विदाउट डाउट, राइट? मूविंग अहेड, नाउ व्हेन टू यूज सिंगल इन्वर्टेड कॉमा एंड डबल इन्वर्टेड कॉमा, दैट्स बेसिकली a biggest questions, right or wrong? So say double inverted commas are to be used for a larger unit. बहुत बड़ा सेंटेंस कंस्ट्रक्शन अगर है तो लार्जर यूनिट, विद इन दैट इफ एट ऑल यू वांट टू कोट समथिंग लाइक से व्हाट इज इन द नेम, ये किसने कहा है? ये शेक्सपियर ने कहा है, व्हाट इज इन द नेम, राइट? सो ये क्या होगा, शेक्सपियर ने कहा है तो ये कोटेशन में जाएगा, बट इसके बाद में आपको लिखना है said Shakespeare, right? said Shakespeare, बट किस में कहा है इसने? से इन हैमलेट, हैमलेट उसने एक लिखी गई, बहुत ही एक अच्छा ड्रामा है उसका, राइट? द वर्ल्ड रिनाउंड एंड वर्ल्ड फेमस ड्रामा रिटन बाय विलियम शेक्सपियर. सो ये भी सिंगल इन्वर्टेड कॉमा. टाइटल हमने बोला है, टाइटल किस में जाएगा? सिंगल इन्वर्टेड में जाएगा, डबल इन्वर्टेड में जाएगा. बट यहाँ पे तो दो टाइटल नजर आ रहे. व्हाट इज इन द नेम, ये भी उसने कहा है, और ये हैमलेट, ये भी ड्रामा का नाम है. सो ये अगर छोटे छोटे यूनिट है, इन छोटे छोटे यूनिट को अगर लार्जर यूनिट कोई बड़ा कर रहा है तो उसके बाद में आप क्या करो? डबल इन्वर्टेड कॉमास का इस्तेमाल करो. सो अंडर सिंगल इन्वर्टेड कॉमा पुट द डबल इन्वर्टेड कॉमा बियॉन्ड दी, बियॉन्ड द लाइंस. ठीक है. सो व्हाट इज इन द नेम? सेड शेक्सपियर इन हैमलेट. सो इसको और बड़ा करने के लिए, सो छोटा यूनिट सिंगल इन्वर्टेड कॉमा, उस सिंगल इन्वर्टेड कॉमा को अगर आपको इनक्लोज करना है तो डबल इन्वर्टेड कॉमा का इसको, जैसे यहाँ पे क्या, व्हाट इज इन द नेम, इसको हमने डबल इन्वर्टेड कॉमा में इनक्लोज किया, राइट? या नाउ मूविंग अहेड. सो व्हेन इज कम टू parenthesis, what we understand by the parenthesis is very very important. When is come to parenthesis, guys, that we use, say, parenthesis is basically bracket, but brackets and parentheses are different, right, in their usage as well. So both things suggest additional information. दोनों ही क्या करते हैं? additional information देते हैं. But here parenthesis gives an additional information in general nature and in a general way, whereas bracket जो है वो स्पेसिफिक और साइंटिफिक इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड करता है. ठीक है, एग्जाम्पल के तौर से समझते हैं. लाइक द टू सिस्टर्स जेनिफर एंड एलिसन वर ट्राइंग टू कन्विंस देयर पेरेंट फॉर अ पेट एनिमल. सो टू सिस्टर, उनके नाम पैरेंथेसिस में दिए गए, ये जनरल नेचर के नाम है. सो जनरल नेचर वाली चीजों को हम पैरेंथेसिस में लिख सकते हैं. किसके लिए? एडिशनल इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए. जैसे देखो, डू द मास एंड डिस्टेंस अफेक्ट द स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ द ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स? ऑफ कोर्स, मास एंड स्ट्रेंथ जो है ये ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स को अफेक्ट करती है. सो डू मास एंड डिस्टेंस. सो ये जो टेक्निकल नेचर जो है और टेक्निकल इंफॉर्मेशन जो है ये हम ब्रैकेट में इस्तेमाल होते हैं. आप में से कोई इंजीनियर अगर रहता है तो पाइथन, जावा, C++, ये जो लैंग्वेज है उनके पास एक ब्रैकेट होते हैं, राइट? सो ऐसे ब्रैकेट, अंडरस्टूड? यस. सो साइंटिफिक इंफॉर्मेशन टू बी साइटेड इन ब्रैकेट, whereas general information to be cited and additionally given in parenthesis. Yes. Now, so parentheses are basically a more clarification. So parentheses are used for more clarification. Look at the example. The company's profit have increased by 20%. कंपनी ने अपना मुनाफा 20% से बढ़ाया है. ठीक है? ओके. नाउ ये किसके बदौलत हो पाया है? ये जो दिया है ना, ये ब्रैकेट में दिया, सॉरी ये पैरेंथेसिस, लार्जली ड्यू टू द न्यू मार्केटिंग कैंपेन. ये किस बदौलत हो पाया है? क्योंकि उनका जो अच्छा वाला नया मार्केटिंग कैंपेन की वजह से. सो वो जो एडिशनल इंफॉर्मेशन है वो ब्रैकेट में दी है. दूसरा, अब्रीविएशन अगर है तो उसके लिए भी आप ये पॉइंट ध्यान में रखो. व्हेन इज कम टू एसे राइटिंग, प्रेसे राइटिंग इज गोइंग टू बी रियली रियली इंपॉर्टेंट. लुक एट द वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पूरा स्पेल आउट किया है, बट उसका शॉर्ट फॉर्म क्या है? WHO. सो WHO जो है वो पैरेंथेसिस में दिया है. सो व्हेन इज कम टू द अब्रीविएशन, फॉर दैट यू यूज पैरेंथेसिस. ऑलराइट, अब्रीविएशन. लेट्स से NATO. नॉर्थ अटलांटिक ट्रीटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, राइट। सो आपको ऐसे लिखना है। अगर नेटो को पूरा स्पेल आउट आपने कर लिया तो उसके बाद में नेटो को ऐसे पैरेंथेसिस में लिखो, है ना सही टेक्निक? यस। Alternative, if you have an alternate like dress code for the party is semi formal, ड्रेस कोड इज फॉर दिस सेमी फॉर्मल। आपको अगर ऑल्टरनेटिव उसको बताना है कि सेमी फॉर्मल क्या है, एडिशनल इन्फॉर्मेशन देनी है, तो सेमी फॉर्मल में क्या आता है? जैकेट एंड टाई आर ऑप्शनल, जैकेट एंड टाई आर ऑप्शनल। सो यू कैन गिव as many citation as possible. Emphasis of thing, when it comes to the emphasis of thing, that you can think of parenthesis as well. Moving ahead, square bracket. Square brackets, this again a specialized form of parenthesis. Now, to show parenthesis within a parenthesis, right? So, say parenthesis within a parenthesis. The study was published by the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineer. अभी इलेक्ट्रिकल और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इंजीनियर ये पहले से ही parenthesis है. This statement is already in parenthesis. So अगर parenthesis के अंदर आपको अगर दूसरा parenthesis जैसे डबल इन्वर्टेड कॉमास के अंदर सिंगल इन्वर्टेड कॉमा, उसी तरह से parenthesis के अंदर आपको क्या करना है? स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट डाल देना है. ये ध्यान में रखो. parenthesis एक लार्जर यूनिट के लिए, बट स्मॉलर यूनिट के लिए आप स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट का इस्तेमाल करो. इतना भी ध्यान में रखिए ना, तो लाइक स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट एंड दैट विल डू द रेस्ट ऑफ द जॉब. या राइट. देन a square tag that has been altered from the original. ये if at all you don't want to like, but I wanted to keep this in remember. This is so technical. I don't think that this is going to be helpful, and so many things are there that you are going to take into consideration. Then the punctuation mark is used to show a list of equal choices, right? If there is an equal choices of things, then you can use curly bracket. Equal choices हमेशा ध्यान में रख लो. Like equal क्या है? Choose a color. एक कलर ले लो, कौन सा है? रेड, ग्रीन, येलो, ब्लू. ये क्या है? कलर के चॉइसेस है, राइट? और गेट सम जूस. लेट्स से अब गेट सम जूस बोला हूं मैं, राइट? देन आई कैन पुट colon here as well to introduce the list, right? And in curly bracket I can simply say that, right, mango, then orange, then lemon, right, etc etc. So ये curly bracket हम equal rank की चीजों को additionally दिखाने के लिए करते हैं, additionally दिखाने के लिए, right? Yes. Moving ahead, angle bracket. So I think this is angle bracket that we say. This is basically a form of angle bracket that you can use to add IDs and a code. Special note on this. You use it to keep ID, let's say email ID को देने के लिए, और कोड को साइड करने के लिए. कोड पता है ना, जो इंजीनियरिंग वाला कोड होता है, वो जो कोडिंग डिकोडिंग वाला काम करते हैं, कोड को साइड करने के लिए आप ये ब्रैकेट, एंगल ब्रैकेट का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, ईमेल के लिए या फिर एंगल ब्रैकेट. देन मूविंग अहेड, नाउ देयर आर डैशेस, राइट? नाउ देयर आर टू टाइप ऑफ डैशेस. यू से im dash and n dash. Two types. I'll tell you the dashes. अबे is basically an hyphenated multiple word that are grouped together. बहुत सारे ना, जैसे mother in law, father in law, 10 years old, right or wrong, और best in class. ये कोई वर्ड है क्या? इंग्लिश में डिक्शनरी में जाके देखो, ये वर्ड ही नहीं है. बेस्ट इन क्लास ये वर्ड है? नहीं है. देन स्टेट ऑफ द आर्ट, ये कोई वर्ड ही नहीं है ना? बट you can conjoin to make one single adjective with the help of hyphen. hyphen लेके आप बहुत सारे ऐसे नए वर्ड का इजाद कर सकते हैं, राइट? एंड फॉर दैट यू यूज hyphen. और उसमें im dash और in dash क्या है वो जस्ट मिनट में भर में सीखेंगे. देखो, दिस इज द बेस्ट इन शो कैटेगरी. दिस इज द बेस्ट इन शो कैटेगरी. बेस्ट इन शो कैटेगरी, ये वर्ड ही नहीं है, but in order to make an adjective with a different adjective, preposition and noun, you use hyphen, right? Yeah. Then yeah, that 30 years old. Nowadays it's very common to use like 21-year-old guy, 20 hyphen 1 hyphen years. अब ये बहुत कॉमन हो गया है कि जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना, व्हेन यू पुट दैट इनटू वर्ड एंड नॉट इन ऐसे अगर लिखने से बजाय 21 years, है ना, ऐसे लिखने से बजाय इफ यू पुट दैट इन वर्ड, यू compulsorily put hyphen in these sort of words there, right? Then like when it's come to spelling out the metrical fraction, like 2/3, 1/3, 1/4, है ना, देखो 2/3, 1/3, 3/4 of it, right? Yes. Then hyphenated family relationship, like the great grandmother, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, इसको father-in-law, sister-in-law, इनको हम जो ऐसे रिलेशन है इसके लिए हम हाइपन का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. दूसरा हाइपन का इस्तेमाल ऊपर जो करते हैं वो मेट्रिकल साइकिल के लिए, लाइक 1/4, 2/3 ऑफ द लैंड और 1/3 ऑफ द लैंड, राइट? यस. देन कंपाउंड वर्ड्स आर रिलेटेड. देयर आर सो मेनी कंपाउंड वर्ड, लाइक resign, rejoin, right? Resign, rejoin, these sort of words are compound words. There is a long list of words that you can check it out on internet. Yeah. Now, as we have seen, like for compound word, we use it. Son-in-law, 5 years old. Prefixes and suffixes है, जैसे cross check, self assured और crossword, है ना, crossword और criss cross, कितने सारे वर्ड है ना, criss cross. Yeah. Then numbers 28, 49, इसके लिए भी यूज करते हैं. And for pauses as well, we'll looked into like this word pauses in im dash and n dash. Yes. I think this is not visible enough, so we'll take yeah. So im dash is basically a dash which is longer than im dash. So अगर im dash इतना है तो in dash सिर्फ इतना होगा, right? So im dash किसके लिए यूज होता है? वेरी फर्स्ट एग्जाम्पल, एडिशनल इन्फॉर्मेशन, माई फ्रेंड, जैसे इसको पैरेंथेसिस में लिखा है माई फ्रेंड, राइट? सो इन ऑर्डर टू ब्रेक एंड टॉक अबाउट द एडिशनल इंफॉर्मेशन, उसके लिए आप इम डैश मतलब हाइपन से थोड़ा बड़ा, हाइपन के दो टाइप है, इम डैश है और एन डैश है. इम डैश थोड़ा बड़ा लिखते हैं ताकि वहां पे एक ब्रेकेज आ जाए, और ब्रेकेज आने के बाद या तो दूसरा पॉइंट बोल सकते हैं आप या फिर एडिशनल पॉइंट बोल सकते हैं. इसके लिए आपको थोड़ा सा इन डैश से, इससे थोड़ा सा ज्यादा डैश डालना है, ठीक है? यस. इंटरप्शन, आई एम सो ग्लैड वी फाइनली मेट, एंड उसके बाद कुछ नहीं. देयर इज अ सेइंग यू नो anadiplosis, or not anadiplosis, anakilothon. There is a literary term. Fine, it is. That's not important, right? It's time to study the most intriguing part of astrological bodies, then black holes. So, in order to put the emphasis, additional information, उसके लिए भी आप im dash का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. But make sure that you have that consistency with regards to this im dash. नहीं तो additional information को आप ब्रैकेट में, सॉरी नॉट पैरेंथेसिस में लिखा करो, नहीं तो फिर इन डैश में भी लिख सकते. अब इन डैश का क्या मतलब है? इन डैश इज वेरी इजी, दैट यू यूज नॉर्मली इन इंडिकेटिंग अ रेंज, लाइक 2010 to 20, और 2 to 3 cups of coffee, 4-5 student, right? 4-5 student. So इसके लिए आप इन डैश का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. In dash मतलब, no, I mean if it is in dash is 1 inch, then im dash em is twice the 1 inch. So 2 इंच का im dash होगा और 1 इंच का जो होगा वो in dash होगा. So in dash हम बहुत जगह, यानी कि प्रॉपर हाइफेनेटेड किसको बोलेंगे तो in dash को बोलेंगे, इसको बोलेंगे in dash को, प्रॉपर हाइफेनेटेड, है ना. अगर im dash है तो there is a breakage point and additional information. Yes. Connecting two units like the New York and London flight. New York and London flight. Very easy. Then showing conflict and opposition like the Lakers Celtic rivalry और इंडो यूरोपियन. देखो मैं कैसे लिख रहा हूं इसको, इंडो यूरोपियन, यूरोपियन राइट, सॉरी आई चाहिए यहाँ पे, इंडो यूरोपियन और एंग्लो क्रिस्टियन, राइट और मैं. सो ये जो एंग्लो क्रिस्टियन, यहाँ पे क्या डाला मैंने, इन डैश, इन डैश. इस तरह से आपको देखना है. या देन व्हाई डू यूज स्लैशेस आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. फर्स्ट, the slash is being denoted basically a fraction or dead. Let's say 2/3 of the portions. Yes, 2/3 of the portion have all 2/3 of the portion has already been dealt with. Now we are left with only 1/3 of it. So 2/3, right? और 4/3. बट अगर रेशियो अगर है तो क्या करेंगे? रेशियो मुझे पता, मैथमेटिकल फ्रैक्शन है. हाँ, 2:3. देन उसके पहले हम कोलन लगाएंगे, 2:3, 4:5, राइट. बट अगर ये नहीं है, अगर फ्रैक्शन अगर है 2/3, 4/3, देन स्लैशेस. और डे एंड डेट्स के लिए भी हम लगाते हैं, राइट. यस. देन डिनोट एन ऑप्शन लाइक either you go for let's say lunch और डिनर, राइट. सो ये जो स्लैश है ये और के लिए लगाते हैं हम. देन प्रोज, let's say such as line in a poetry or a song saying imagine there is no countries, then slash it is hard to do. So इस तरह से आपको प्रोज को कट करने के लिए भी आप कर सकते हैं. डिनोट अब्रिविएशन लाइक CO फॉर इन केयर ऑफ, NA not applicable, right. These are not too usual, so I don't want to use this abbreviation, है ना. करते हैं like care of, ऐसे बोलते हैं ना, इन केयर ऑफ, ये ऐसा आज भी लिखते हैं. yes. So this is not so usual and predominant, इतना ज़्यादातर नहीं यूज होता है. So I want you to rule out this, बाकी ध्यान में रखो. Then apostrophe. Apostrophe is very very important, guys. This is where we create much confusion. For first thing, to say possession, like John baseball bat, or he say Harry's class, Harry की class. Then Mina's bungalow, right. So possession के लिए, और say Satish toy और Ria basketball or bicycle. So for that you use possessio or apostrophe, right. For possession के लिए apostrophe. Contracted form ना, don't, doesn't, like we say he doesn't. So DOSN and then contracted form. Then won't, WONT, इसको will not बोलेंगे. shunned, SHAN apostrophe T, shunned, right. shouldn't, should N apostrophe T. ये स्टाइल है लिखने की. वैसे apostrophe तो लिख रही है, not लिखने में क्या जा रहा है, but no, it's a style, way of stylistically we write in this way, right. So to contract the form. Abbreviated ES, ये ध्यान में रखना, don't. यहाँ पे अगर ये अगर है ना, so he apostrophe S, तो इसका मतलब होता है he has, right. eat और apostrophe अगर है तो इसका मतलब होता है eat is. पर if the eat is without apostrophe, then it's a possessive form of it. eat क्या है then? It's a possessive form of it. अगर without apostrophe है तो, अगर apostrophe है तो it has और it is, right. ऐसे भी लिखते हैं I plus apostrophe and double L So I shall or I will, right? Yes. Next, to denote certain plurals, let's say plural like I was born in the 60s. 60s का जो ये था ना, मतलब वो पूरा डिकेड, उसको बयां करने के लिए अपॉस्ट्रोफी है, लाइक 90s, आई एम अ 90s किड, सो मैं 90 के दशक में जन्मा हुआ हूँ, सो 90s किड है ना, सो 90s अपॉस्ट्रोफी एस. सो एक ब्रॉडर वे में अगर दिखाना है ईयर्स को तो हम प्लूरल करके उसको भी लिख सकते हैं. यस. देन अपॉस्ट्रोफी पोजीशन, कॉन्ट्रैक्शन, प्लूरल लेटर्स एंड नंबर्स के लिए है. एलिप्सिस. Why do we use ellipsis in species? Is basically an omission of word wherein you break the expression sentence and stop saying further. क्या है, मैं कुछ बोल रहा हूं, I think so, then dot 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 dot, don't need to say anything and start like I should relax for a while, right? Or I think so, but anyway, right? So I think so, but anyway. So ये जो है ना, इसको ओमिजन या फिर स्पीचेस में अगर है तो सिंपली यू कैन पुट दिस डॉट 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 एंड देन स्टार्ट विद द न्यू सेंटेंस. दैट इज कॉल्ड ellipsis. It's very easy. Asterisk. Asterisk is basically used for a footnotes. If you're writing a research article or research paper, then you can write with the help of asterisk. ऐसे स्टार मार्क करके आप लिख सकते हैं. Then if there is an unappropriate word, let's say use unappropriate which is not to be spoken in front of group, crowd or ladies, जैसे say an abusive word, invective word, जो गंदे गंदे गालियां वाले भद्दे वर्ड जो होते हैं उसको आपको नहीं यूज करना है, then you can use star or asterisk in front of that, right? So invective word के लिए. और disclaimer के लिए भी कंडीशन इसके लिए आप डिस्क्लेमर स्टार लगा सकते हैं. यस. सो दीज आर बेसिकली टाइप्स ऑफ these are basically types of punctuation marks that we use on day-to-day basis. But this is not the end. Let's carry out an exercise. After the exercise, I'll give you an additional point that would be a bonus point for you. And I think that this is where we use at like Oxford comma. Oxford comma. Be with me. Now you will have to understand the appropriate use of punctuation marks. Which one is the correct one, right? Though we say like, I know what you want. मुझे पता है तुम्हें क्या चाहिए. You know. Do you think that this is an interrogative statement? No. This is a kind of declarative statement, though it uses what do you want. If it is what do you want, then that's fine. It's a declarative statement, yes no type. Sorry, yeah. So it is I know what. But the second one is very easy. You don't know me well, do you? Now this statement is basically you don't know me well, do you? Is an interrogative one, or along with that it is supposed to be used with question tag. Now which one is correct? You don't know me well, do you? So here's the fourth one. You don't know me well, then do you, and then after that interrogative sentence. I mean up question mark, right? This is very easy. Do you recall my name, my address, my job and my passion? You see, when it's come to the separation of atom, if there is an enumerate atom there, enumerate numbering किया हुआ है अगर है तो उसको किससे separate करते हैं? Comma, colon है, semicolon से. Of course, comma से. So which will be the correct one? You know? Oh, sorry. Yeah, separate. But here is what we have been asked. It's a question. Do you know my name? Do you know her name? Do you know his profession? Do you know what does he do? Right? So ये क्या है? Interrogative questions है. इसके बाद क्या आएगा? Question mark आएगा. Right? So do you recall my name? पहला sentence. My address, my job, my passion. Right? प्रश्न पूछा गया है ना कि आपको ये पता है, वो पता है, वो पता है ना? लास्ट वाला देखते हैं. What I can't believe you did this for you. right? So as I said, like, what? I can't believe you did this to her. I'm very surprised. I'm astonished by the fact that someone has does something to someone, right? So I'm astonished. I'm totally flabbergasted. So क्या इस्तेमाल करेंगे? तो जब अस्टॉनिश है, सरप्राइज है, आउटबर्स्ट ऑफ इमोशन है, तो क्या करेंगे हम? It is basically exclamatory marks, right? So after what, put exclamatory marks. What? I can't believe you do this to her, right? So I want you to solve these two and you are good to go then these two as well. These are so easy, and I would in the end I'm just going to give you a bonus tip with regards to comma. Now I have an example. My parent, sorry, my parent Shahrukh, comma, and Deepika are going to attain marriage. Going to attend marriage. My parents, comma, Shahrukh Khan, comma, and Deepika going to attain marriage, right? Now, what we have to understand here, usually when there is a separation of atom, atom के बहुत सारे एटम अगर है लिस्ट में, और लिस्ट अगर है, तो हमें जो लास्ट में जो कॉमा डालना है, दैट कॉमा नीड टू बी पुट बिफोर एंड. अगर एंड के पहले अगर वो कॉमा नहीं डालते तो उसका मतलब हो जाता है वो दोनों लास्ट के एक है. बाकी सेपरेट है लेकिन दोनों लास्ट के एक है. सो उनको सेपरेट करने के लिए आप एंड के पहले कॉमा डालना बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है. क्यों? नहीं तो इसका मीनिंग ऐसे गलत हो जाता है. दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल एन ऑक्सफोर्ड कॉमा. उसको अब नया इजाद कर दिया है, इसको बोलते हैं ऑक्सफोर्ड कॉमा, राइट? हाउ? माय पेरेंट्स, इसके बाद में अगर मैंने कॉमा डाला तो इसका मतलब होता है शाहरुख खान एंड दीपिका, राइट? शाहरुख एंड दीपिका, दीज आर my parent, शाहरुख खान एंड दीपिका. सो यहां पे अगर शाहरुख खान के बाद मैंने अगर कॉमा नहीं डाला और मैंने डायरेक्टली एंड का इस्तेमाल किया तो उसका मतलब होता है माय पेरेंट्स शाहरुख खान एंड दीपिका. सो हियर यू विल फाइंड वन एंटिटी ओनली, माय पेरेंट्स. मेरे पेरेंट्स कौन है? शाहरुख खान एंड दीपिका है. But whereas if I put that comma there just before and, then that suggests my parents, Deepika and Shahrukh Khan. ये तीन लोग हो जाते हैं. नहीं तो उसका मतलब हो जाता है सिर्फ मेरे पेरेंट्स, और कौन है? शाहरुख खान और दीपिका है. So this was the bonus tip for you guys. I'll repeat this. So if there is say 4 or 5 atoms in a given sentence, you have to separate with the help of comma, and when you separate those with the help of comma, just make sure that when the last atom that you referred with the help of and, so उस and से पहले आपको comma देना है, उसको बोलते हैं Oxford comma. So when you put that comma just before and, that separate the atom in the given list, and that clear the meaning pretty well. So I'm sure with this bonus tip, you understood this lesson very well, and I want you to practice these punctuation marks and keep that uniformity in your writing structure and a writing style, so as to understand, so as to make your writing understood in a better way to your audience or to your readers. So with this hope, I take your leave. Thank you very much.